cheers, and enjoy the beers. Yes, indeed. Good evening, good afternoon. Once again, a Disco, Rasco and Disco beer review, and I am live in front of the cans and bottles here on the bar. I am still commonly calling the Disco Arms, and do you know what? I've got there's so many puns for this show, it's unbelievable. Yes, as I alluded to on yesterday's show, I've got some Czech Pilsners, or Czech style Pilsners, I should probably say, and a big Czech style glass for this first one. As I mentioned on yesterday's show, I've got a couple of beers in the Czech Pilsner style from Twice Brewed, brew company up in Northumberland. So I'm getting the first one into glass, and I'm pleased. Put that with a proper head as well. Looks good. Good evening. Thanks for popping in and joining. Third show in a row for this week. What on earth is going on? Mr. Wilson, thanks for popping in. Mr. Howard, good to see you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for popping in. And Mr. B, as ever, thank you very much indeed. I hope you're good. Hope you've had a good midweek. I've been far too busy, so probably shouldn't be doing the show. I've been cycling about the place, driving about the place, delivering beer, and generally doing a brewery stuff today. But yeah, I got back a little bit late, hence the show got moved back a little bit. Not just technical problems, just general life problems. But here we go. Nastrovi, as I say, in the Czech Republic. I'm looking forward to getting into this beer. Cheers. Oh yeah. I'm probably a little side interest I've always had is Czech beers, and I haven't got into them enough on the channel. Haven't done enough videos on them. Haven't done enough reviews on them. I drank a few, not so much in the last few years, but when I saw this one from Twice Brewed, in fact, as I said yesterday, I saw on the lineup on yesterday's show, I've got a lineup of 4 or 5 different Czech style Pilsners. All in the same can. This looks a bit Warner Brothers to me, but I kind of like it. It stands out. This one's 5.1% Bohemian Pilsner. And do you know what I haven't done? I've completely missed Dave Wilson's advice, as ever, to do the tick around the photo. So, yeah, as always, late. Beer number 1, please. So yeah, 5.1%. A good solid ABV for a Czech Pilsner, I guess. Goes from that, 4.5 up to 6, and then you get the stronger ones. Yeah, I got a couple of these. I've been waiting for them too long. I keep trying to get the other ones. There's like 3 or 4, and like I say, 4 or 5 we think now in the set. And every time I look at them, I'm like, there's so many other beers at Twice Brewed I want to drink, and I've just never got around to it. As we found out yesterday, I picked these up back end of last year. But shouldn't be a problem, because Pilsners, beer in general, lagers in general, lager means to store, so you can store it for a while. And there's no, from that first mouthful, no real obvious change on that one. It's got that crisp Pilsner malt background. It's been in my fridge all day, but it's got that nice crisp Pilsner malt background with that kind of little, I always say, slightly peppery, slightly savoury edge, as well as having a sign of sort of a marmalade-y edge. Definitely a bit of sweetness to it, kind of indistinct marmalade, somewhere between lime and orange, without going anywhere near either of those two fruits. Yeah, or bullseye in one. It's the Czech Pilsner. No, all I can see with that is, that's all, folks. And Bugs Bunny. I don't think that's it's not a slight on the design. That's just how my mind looks at it. But yeah, that's the one. That's all, folks. That's all I can see for this one. Yeah, anybody else got a beer in a glass tonight? Racing through the week. 3 live streams on the trot. What am I doing? Even though yesterday's live stream was, well, quite short, mercilessly short, you might say. And I never did finish them beers. I cuved both of them into one. Had a little bit of amaretto and some lemonade, slightly flat lemonade. But yeah, it was all right. It was a lovely cocktail, but I still didn't finish the rest of the actual beers. Which I'm a little bit disappointed in myself, I have to admit. I'll put my hand up and say, yeah, should be able to be polishing off 3 beers, but they were tangy, those last 2. The twice brewed cherry sour, despite being a year old, was not too bad, to be honest. Whoa now, Mr. Wilson, you're on Sierra Nevada Peanut Butter Cup Narwhal at 12.7%. Wow, have you had a taxing day? Is it? That said, I was on 12.4% on Monday night, so yeah, you beat me on that one. Fair play. I mean, that does sound nice, that narwhal. I've never got into Sierra Nevada apart from looking afar at that narwhal, that stout. I will get around to it at some point. Is that a special version? Is that a different version? Maybe I should just order some of those. Don't need any more beer in the stash. Got 2 more beers arriving tomorrow, and yeah, so I will have done only 9 beers out of the stash this week, and a few extra pints. I had a couple of pints after work. Needed to get through the stout to clear it out from the weekend, so a couple of pints after work before getting back here. I'm well on the way. Not sure the peanut butter adds much. Yeah, no, fair enough. Sometimes it does. All right, this is a special. Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully at some point I'll get on Sierra Nevadas. Like I say, these beers, in fact, all of these beers tonight have been sitting in my stash for the best part of a year. And I thought, well, I'll put them back together. Put them all together in the theme of Czech-style Pilsners or actual Czech Pilsners. For reasons I don't know if I'm allowed to divulge why I'm doing it specifically tonight. I'll have a little think about that. I might tell you at the end, so stick around for that one. That was clickbaity, wasn't it? Yeah, I still don't know if I'm allowed to tell you why I'm doing Czech-style Pilsners today of all days. I might accidentally let slip. I tend to do that after a few beers, so let me get 3 pints down and I'll tell you why. That's the V. Oh, fuck. You know what I didn't do? That's the thing. Smashing that beer down. I say, well, I might not get time to do the photos tomorrow. I didn't do the photographs today of those cherry beers. Just didn't really. I didn't have time. Might not have time tomorrow, depending on how I get on with tomorrow's expeditions. Well, let's do that one anyway. If I have a little break, I might just bash up the photo. Yeah, I got the glass with it. I thought it looked pretty chunky and pretty decent. I don't know how Czech style it is. I've not really seen anything else like that in Czech style glass, so there is quite a few knocking around. I like that big kind of chunkiness on the bottom there. But as Czech beers go, or Czech style beers, a Bohemian Pilsner, this one's got all the attributes. Yeah, really nice, properly cold. Decent head on it, decent head retention, a little bit of lace in there. I'm guessing Saaz hopped. I always say Saaz is my favourite hop because it confuses people. People forget about Saaz hops and Czech Pilsners. Simo, good evening, sir. Good evening to you. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you've recovered from those abominations of the Audi Hop Foundry beers last night, but bless you for giving it a go. I found them distinctly average. Yeah, I have a look at Simo trying those last night. Bit of a laugh, to be fair. Mr. B can't seem to go to Manchester without grabbing a pint of Pilsner Urquell on Tampa Albert Schloss. Fantastic beer. Yes, it is. I was very drunk last time I was in Manchester after a game at Salford City, and we trekked back in for Albert Schloss specifically for a couple of pints of PU. Pilsner Urquell. I have to say, Pilsner Urquell, I've got a long, sort of history with of drinking their beers. I think on the whole, what about everybody else? Pilsner Urquell versus Budvar. I think I slightly err on the side of Budvar these days. Maybe that's just because since I found Pilsner Urquell, eventually sold out to one of the big boys, and it's no longer independent kind of Czech brewery like that Budvar and all the others are. So I don't know, it's this whole thing I have about giving big beer as much of a swerve as possible. Although sometimes, I do a supermarket beer here and there, and I've just admitted to drinking those Hop Foundry beers. So what do I know? What do I know? Yeah, unusual. It is it's not quite the chunkiness of like a pint pot, a UK pint pot. It feels a little bit bigger. I mean, I'll show you this later, but I got the Budvar one there, so a little bit more squat. I love that one with the rims around the bottom, that kind of thing. I think it's more of like the beer is a Czech style Pilsner, a Bohemian Pilsner, if you will. Maybe that's just a Bohemian style pot. I guess you can say a pint pot, I suppose. Yeah, well, it's a pint. It's got the line pint there and allows for. I hate the term finger-sized head because it depends on your head. It depends on your finger and it depends on the size of your paw as well. But yeah, there's a nice bit of chunky head allowing on that, although only a 440 can, so you're never going to get anywhere near that on those cans. But I like it. Oh, hang on. More technical issues I haven't done. I've plugged in a laptop. That would not be a good thing to disappear down the hole in the middle. So bear with me whilst I attend to that terrible technical difficulty. Here we go. There we go. There we go. Vanessa, good evening to you. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing all right. Isn't Budvar owned by the Czech government? Yeah, I'm never sure about that one. It's one of those that sort of is owned by. Nobody's really quite sure. It's like they claim it's like a owned by the people kind of thing. So it's not necessarily the government, more like the local council kind of thing, or whatever their equivalent is, I think. But yeah, I'll have a look at that in a minute, actually, about Budvar when I go with a glass. Hoping to be drinking a few Budvars tomorrow. Shh, can't say, secret. Yes, Jack. It's not really a cold. It's sort of, for now, I've been fine all day. Maybe I'm just allergic to this house or something. But yeah, around about this time, 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, I just get a blocked up nose. Maybe I'm allergic to StreamYard or YouTube, or maybe it's just you or you lot. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I have to get that looked into. Yeah, I've been fine all day. I've been out and about all day. Up the farm, been absolutely fine. I'm not allergic to beer. I know that, especially this one. It's really nice. There is a little kind of hot burn now. Let's have a look. A crisp and clean tasting traditional Czech style Pilsner. I don't think you can call it a Czech Pilsner, you have to call it a Czech style Pilsner. Pale gold in colour. Yeah, fair enough. Fresh and grassy with slightly sweet notes and a touch of spice. Yep, Sars hops. Good. Yeah, Twice Brewed Brewing Co. Hadrian's Wall, Northumberland is what they give us the address. Oops. April 24. Wouldn't notice the difference, to be fair. Wouldn't like, you can see it comes out nice. Probably not as much carbonation as I was expecting. I didn't see any carbonation racing up there. Yeah, it's the stash you're allergic to. It may help when you clear more. Yeah, might get more clear nasal passages. If I was allergic to beer, I think I would know by now. Surely there'd be other symptoms. I have been drinking beer for a number of decades. Shit, it's 3, isn't it? Yes, it's 3 decades. Yeah, that's why I always feel terrible in the mornings, because I'm allergic to beer. I wonder what the allergen in beer would be that you would be allergic to. It's an allergy to something, mate. Well, yeah, maybe it's the cat. I'm allergic to cats. Doesn't stop me having cats. Accidental, long story. She walked up one day, so yeah, maybe it's a bit of that. I got to tell her I've, like, as an asthmatic, I've got allergies to random things, but nothing particularly serious, just really annoying ones. So it's probably a bit of that. Maybe a bit of temperature difference. Like I said, I've been outside all day. It's not been cold, but out in the air and the wind. Cycled home and then got here in the warm. I don't know. I will. I know. I'll look into it. I've been saying that for 3 years. I'm sure it's fine. It's just a random thing, isn't it? Good. I used to say I was allergic to work, but then I actually had to go out and get a job at some point, which I'm quite happy with, actually. Again, that marmalade. I love that kind of marmalade note. It's kind of not necessarily marmalade sweetness, it's just an indistinct fruit note with a little bit of kind of zing. I try not to use the term grassy, although they put it on here, and it kind of is that fresh kind of grassy note, but grassy to me doesn't sound particularly appealing, so I usually not use that. As you probably know, I'm always banging on about Paravel. Now we have a Czech style Pilsner up there, Sars hop Pilsner, that has stinging nettles in it, which is probably not traditional or in any way authentic, but we just do it because it works. And that one does. I do use the term kind of fresh, crisp, grassy note a little bit more. So that one tends to go further towards lime marmalade, funny enough. And the one we've got on at the moment, it's called London Pilsner. It's more of a Czech-German hybrid. I think it has got Sars hops and some German hops in it, but it's from Portobello, brewed just down the A40 in Acton. And that's also really nice. It's kind of just off of what we brew, but noticeably without the stinging nettles. This one, I say, is a bit more kind of slightly fruity, fruity marmalade. It has got that kind of slight, not quite pepper, but more, some, you have like, not cardamom, what's that other spice sometimes they put in it. But yeah, it's got that kind of, but again, indistinct spice note. It's not specific. But lace in there, still proper fresh, still a bit of carbonation on it, still tasting lovely. Nice one, Twice Brewed. As I think we saw yesterday, this one's still available. Probably still, I mean, rebrewed. So you've got the lineup there. Let's just remind myself, check that out. again. I know you've all seen it because you was watching the other day. But for those that weren't, and if you're watching it back afterwards, I picked these up back end of last year, direct order. Directly off their website. I got two others there now. So there's the Juno Bohemian Pilsner, the original. Got a lighter version at 3.8, which I'm sure a lot of Czech people wouldn't kind of understand really, but it is a thing. That dark lager I should be getting hold of, and the Czech amber lager, which is actually a thing. There's a lot of amber beers, amber lagers around in some of the Czech breweries. That if I'd been a bit more prepared, I would have got a thing lined up. So the next one is something different again, a fourth different one. Joey, good evening, good afternoon, or welcome along, sir. Even though from Iowa and Cornwall, yeah, well, Cornwall was fine. I don't know anyone from Iowa. Iowa, what do you owe her? Yeah, so smashing out some Czech style Pilsners today. Love a bit of that Bohemianness going on. That's what I should have put on the thing. Should have put Dandy Warhols on the song on Instagram. Forgot. Didn't really come across from Instagram. Let me see the thing on Instagram come across, or do you get YouTube notifications? Do let me know. Oh, look at that. I mean, superb. Hey, one more for the puns. Did you check your Pilsner? I don't do on tap, so I haven't checked it in. Once again, I know you've all seen this, but the reason for crashing out all these shows is the fact I've accidentally got a bit too much beer in the beer stash. Hence, I've got to make a film of it and show you why I'm doing these random live streams. Just to get through the stash, man. I'm not showing off. Yeah, plenty of room for a couple more cases. I've got empty them boxes underneath. Yes, Chris Ford, thanks for popping in. I don't know. Am I allowed to say? I don't know if I'm allowed to mention it because I've not seen it mentioned anywhere. It's like it's not advertised. It's not even a thing. I just feel like I've got some kind of special invite thing. I'll come on to that later as to why I'm doing the Czech beers today. especially as these three entered the stash almost this time last year. I think we decided the Twice Brewed was at the end of September. So I'm going to get the next Twice Brewed one into the freshly washed out glass. I don't know if I need to because it's effectively the same beer. It's probably the same recipe, just with the hop additions or the malt additions to get it up to 6.1%. This one. It's called the Export. And once again, I've forgotten to do the whole beer number 2, please thing. But there we go. We did that anyway. Yeah, so beer number 2 on tonight's show is a Juno Export, 6.1% strong Pilsner. So they're continuing the theme and the branding. Gold with that one. Again, looks great. So it looks a bit ice creamy, but yeah, all I can see is that's all, folks. But yeah, 6.1% strong Pilsner, Export Pilsner. Not exported here in London. Yes, you are that. Well, okay, if you say so, boss, I'll take that as read. I will let you know all why I'm drinking Czech style Pilsners on a Wednesday, but I'll do it after the end of the next beer because, yeah. So yeah, for everybody knowing, Chris is in the Czech Beer Fan Club, a group on Facebook. It talks about all sorts, any kind of Czech beer, really, mostly Czech produced beer. I can't go putting the photos of this one on there. There's one for you then, Chris. This mug. It came with the beer. Is it a Czech style, Bohemian style mug? Does it look right? We're not really sure with the whole dimply things down the bottom. I've never really seen one like it, but you've seen probably a few more glasses than me, and I'm looking forward to seeing quite a few more tomorrow. Let's take the photograph. As you always know, I step out and do the photo. Can't get it right. Never mind. Much easier to photograph these ones. Once it focuses anyway. Enza didn't really advertise that I was talking about Czech beers. Probably should have got a bunch of them from the group to come and say hello or something, but I'll catch up with you all tomorrow. It is a Czech style mug. If anyone's going to know, it's going to be Chris. Fair play. So yeah, this is the 6.1% export. So slightly stronger along the range. Cheers and na zdraví. Ooh. That one's interesting. I was going to use the term basic, but that one was a straight up Pilsner. This one is more, yeah, it's got more going on. Certainly stronger flavours. Would the next beer be an import? Technically, yes, it will. Yes, it will be an import, actually. I'll tell you for why when we get to it. Many of you guys see this. The haze going on there. Can't really see the carbonation racing up the glass, but it's in there. Good chunky creamy head going on. Lovely head development, a little bit of lacing already. Yeah, a little bit more hoppy on that one. A touch more on the lemon end of the marmalade. I don't know if the marmalade is quite right, but yeah, a little bit more. Definitely still crisp. A bit more sweetness, a bit more kind of lemon curd rather than marmalade. A strong and rich Czech style Pilsner that is packed full of flavour, crisp and clean with a touch of sweetness. So yeah, still sells hops, obviously. Yeah, it feels a bit rougher, which I suppose you'd expect from a stronger Pilsner. Still quite quaffable, still quite drinkable. I take it they didn't filter these beers. No, there's a bit of haze going on. I can see the carbonation much more now, clearly. Much darker on the camera. So, yeah. Well, Chris, you'll be able to answer this about the traditionalness of hazy Pilsners in Czechia. Is that a thing? I'm as much as I'm an enthusiast, I'm definitely not an expert. Despite being having drunk a fair amount of Czech beer over the years, but only ever a couple of times a year. It's not something because there's so many beers about, as I always say. Too many beers, not enough me. I can't even get the hat straight. Yeah, I don't know. Chris, is a hazy style beer a Czech thing, or do they filter their lagers? I can't even think from like drinking Pilsner Urquell or Budvar, to be fair. Should know that, really. I should have worked that one out. Always learning, as I always say. Always learning. Hope to be learning a lot tomorrow. Learning a lot more about Czech Pilsners. I say that every year and never learn anything. Just drink heavily. That's Trevi. I think that's going to mellow a bit. No, there's still some strong hop notes there. Tastes something like a bit more than just SARS. Oh, getting closer. June 24 for this one. So yeah, having yesterday mostly drunk beers that were in date. Today we're mostly drinking beers that are technically it's only a suggestion, the best before. I don't even think the last one will have one because it's just a British thing, isn't it? Yes, of course they do an unfiltered version. Of course, I've seen it. I forgot that for a second. Yeah, but generally, is that like a new thing? Is that kind of recent thing? Because it's generally not hazy, or the traditional stuff not hazy. That's a really good question. I hadn't even thought of that, actually. Yeah, definitely getting a bit of like lemon drop kind of thing going on with this. Noticeably stronger. Noticeably so. Here's the other question that we asked earlier, Chris, about who owns Budvar. Is it the government or is it like a public thing? So let's see if I can find that. Greece is from the Republic of Beer. Yeah, it's owned by the Czech people. Does that mean? Since 1895, Budvar has brewed the finest Czech lager in the world. A brewery is still owned by the people of the Czech Republic. How does that work? I've never really understood that. It's got to be through taxes or whatever, so it's technically owned by the government, no? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go off and research that separately. So it's a brewer's choice to filter or not to filter. Company's choice, brewers, yeah. It's Czech people. No, very much not distributed by Budweiser. Two separate companies, and there's been ongoing lawsuits, which I think are still ongoing, between Budweiser of the USA and Budweiser Budvar. to such an extent that Budvar don't use the Budweiser term in America, or they just don't sell in America. Two entirely separate beers, very much different things going on. If I knew more about that, we could argue ad infinitum over the Budweiser story. I probably should do a video on it when I get around to doing actual videos rather than just Bash the Stash live streams. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So in here say Budvar is called Czechvar. I mean, why not? What's in a name? As long as the beer is good. Yeah, that's part of the many lawsuits that went on and on and on. So I've got a video in production. I'm still trying to get around to finishing. Well, I actually made a Czech Pilsner 10 years ago. I went to the title. Chris helped. Well, I didn't make it. I just vaguely helped. Came up with a name. Brewed it in Southwest London as a collab between Pilsner Urquell and Windsor and Eton. Something we talk about every year. It was a dark. You will not be surprised to hear. Managed to get the team to do a dark Pilsner. And as far as I know, Pilsner Urquell still haven't done a dark Pilsner. Probably should. No, what it is probably the same recipe, but with actual hops rather than Budvar just sort of waft a bag of hops at the thing, or maybe just dunk it like a tea bag in. Discovery. Premier League always doing the Czech VAR. Budweiser came out with it. Dark, yeah. Well, Budvar, definitely. I love Budvar Dark. Didn't see the dark Budweiser. Be interesting. I'm not wholeheartedly against Budweiser. I've drunk it on. Well, there's a pub up the road where we used to go, and it was the only one that did late night music, and they had Budweiser on tap. And by that time, I was too pissed to care. I didn't even know the story about it by then. So I have drunk Budweiser. I'm not like as much against it as I am, say, Carling or Stella or any of the mainstream. But as a company, I have no time for them. That's a ringing endorsement, Shark. It was okay. That's what I said about those beers yesterday. Simo was drinking from Hot Foundry. They were distinctly average. He said they were terrible. There you go. Well, it's a surprisingly similar recipe, I would think. Because there's precious little hop equivalents in Coca-Cola. But yeah, must be about the same thing. I'd try it though. It's probably Diet Cola, which is worse. Ooh. I've got some, I was going to say holes, but they are work trophies. Don't know where that come about. Right, because I was busier today than I expected to be. Bud Light Dark. That could be an interesting thing. You say that. I actually made that the other day. Well, not Bud, but yeah, I carbonated some excess wort from a stout. Put it in a corny, carbonated through the keg line. I thought it was really nice. I thought it worked. It wasn't watery at all. You just couldn't do a lot with it really because it wasn't carbonated enough because there wasn't enough water in it for a start. But yeah, it is a possible thing. Getting this hop spike from this. There's a lot more hops in it, I think. It's starting to go a bit, and I don't know when you get this from SARS, it's starting to go a little bit grapefruit marmalade. A grapefruit marmalade isn't a thing, as far as I'm aware, but it's got that range of citrus, and it's heading towards that range of citrus. I'm not sure about that grapefruity kind of, it's still that lemon marmalade, that kind of lemon curdy thing going on in the foreground, but yeah, because it's a big beer, comparatively 6.1%, it's going a little bit rough around the edges with probably a bit more hops in it. Interesting. I've never had an over SARS hopped beer before. Still good beer though, I see. Lacing on the glass. Excellent head retention. For a beer that's possibly a year old. Yeah, I think so. I think that's where it's going towards a strong lager. It's got, I use the term rough around the edges because it's got that kind of raspiness, extra hop raspiness, but also that kind of, yeah, it's got some strength to it. Still eminently drinkable though. Still got that fresh, crisp Pilsner taste. But yeah, it's noticeably a bit stronger. As I say, a little bit rough around the edges, not as smooth, maybe, and crisp as the original. I shouldn't be smashing it down probably, but I am, because I get through them. I don't quite think it'll be double. Because it's got the same it's kind of got the same body. So I'm not sure it'd be double, but it's maybe somewhere approaching it. Definitely feels like it's got twice the amount of hops on it. It feels like there's a bit of double dry hopping thing going on as well. I mean, I won't tell you what I don't think it is, but it just feels like that extra kind of hop note to it. Oh, bless them for putting the instructions, store cold, drink fresh. It's like they've never met me. They haven't. I'd love to get out there actually. Twice Brewed looked like a brilliant brewery out the back of a brew pub. Yeah, June 24. I mean, we're not that far out. If it weren't for the fact that this summer hadn't rushed past with the speed that I'm drinking this beer. Well, yeah, Rob will tell us. I don't know if you had Twice Brewed. Definitely worth a look. Like I say, I had a look at their brewery earlier, their website earlier. They've got a lot of decent beers on the lineup. So I'm going to get onto it. I want to keep going back to it though. There's lots of good flavors to find. Despite that kind of hop note, it's not my favorite. You wouldn't be like sessioning this. I wouldn't anyway. Smash through 4 or 5 of the originals quite easily. It makes you think I'm quite keen to try the amber one and also maybe the light one, really. But yeah, this is like a big end of session beer, I think. Or certainly before you go on to the dark. I'm enjoying it though. It's good. Like I say, even year old beer. I mean, I don't think I can't imagine it would be that much fresher at the start of that best before thing. It will be, but I can't imagine it's that much. Yeah. Nice. So I haven't got a big finish. That is the big finish. I've got one more to go, which, shall I point out, is an import because it's an actual Czech. I think it's Pilsner. It must be. Yes, indeed. Anyway, yeah, actual Czech beer from a Czech brewery. I have had loads in before, and I just haven't got any at the moment. But I put these 3 together because I want to get the the whole Czech Pilsner thing together. Put a lacing on it. Just staying put. Just, yeah, nice. If that's an indication of quality beer, which I think it is, then that's a good beer. And yeah, I've been drinking much more Pilsners, especially of late, especially as having the very crisp up at the brewery, getting into them. I like the flavour, I like the taste. It's easy drinking, it's light, but it's got some good flavours, good things to find. I like that marmalade thing going on. That's the V. Well, there we go. On to, I'll get it right this time. Beer number 3, please. Beer number 3 is an actual Czech beer from a Czech brewery, Jarosovsky. I hope I pronounced that right. Again, lovely looking, nice little bit of a kind of creative artwork there. It's called Jura. It's an 11-degree beer, and I'm told it's 4.5%. I still cannot get my head around the whole degrees thing. I'm going to put it in a Budvar glass. I don't know if that's a good idea or whether it's allowed or not. I don't care. It's a good beer, and it's a good glass. So let's get it out. Again, this was given to me a year ago at the place I'm going to tomorrow, which apparently I am allowed to talk about. So it sat in my stash for a year. But there again, pouring out fresh and crisp. Probably a little too much carbonation, but a good Czech style Pilsner head on it in a Budvar glass. Yeah, noticeably bigger can. Well, if that's a 440, it's got to be a 500 can. But because my Czech language skills are limited to saying a please, thank you, and cheers, yeah, it does say 4.5%. Can't actually. Yeah, no, 500 ml. So yeah, it's 500 ml can. Well happy with that. Czech beers, quite happy with it. Even that's too much head for a Czech beer, to be fair, but I'm going to do the thing anyway. Let's see who notices. It'll all be okay. It's harder to photo with all that white on there. I don't want them in the can. Might be alright. Yeah, lots of shiny, but it's kind of there. It'll do. Happy with that. Yeah, so, yeah, 500 ml can. Now, I was given this can, so I could have put it in the free beer session I did the other week, but I kind of left it, and then I thought, well, yeah, got to do it in Czech beer because I was given it almost exactly a year ago, actually on Czech soil. Not quite a snit pour, but close. Probably because I've left it a year. I'm not going to turn it upside down yet and find a date if there is even one thing on there. Yeah, Plato. Really good rally driver was Plato, wasn't he? And also a philosopher. But yeah, I don't really understand it. To be fair, I've not looked into it enough, so I will at some point. A little bit of a refreshment. I've still got lemon knocking around there. So probably much paler than the other two. Again, quite dark on camera, but here it's kind of a lemon yellow kind of golden colour. I think actually, if I remember rightly, I featured this beer. I had a bunch of cans, a bunch of bottles in from Jarosovsky a few years ago via Trembling Madness. I think I did back in the day. Do you remember back in the day? Doing the old Instagram lives, which we then did put on to YouTube. I don't know if this one got on there, but I have tried this beer before because we had a chat to the bar manager at Pivo in London, sadly, a departed Czech bar serving a bunch of Czech beers. So I think I've had this beer before. I'd have to go back and look at the review, but that's a good chunky glass, isn't it? The old Budvar glass. I've never put Budvar in this glass yet because I got it a year ago. Funny enough, when I got that. But yeah, there's Trophy. They claim, or at least Radim from Budvar claims, you need that big head on it to protect the beer, but I don't think it lasts long enough to protect the beer. I'm not going to disagree with him now. He's the expert. I'm not. I'm just a beer drinker. Again, there's a slight hop note to it. It's erring on the earthy and the grapefruit. It's not bad. I'm almost, because of that lemon note of that one, I'm almost preferring that. So, don't think that's a good thing. It is twice brewed because it's a good beer, but yeah, it is settling a little bit. Jesus. There is... Oh, dear. There is a date on the bottom of this can, right? But I don't think it's the best before date. Oh, it might be. No, it can't be. 24th of the 9th, 23, but as I only picked up this can on the 18th of the 9th last year, I mean, it was a freebie, but I'd be surprised if they were giving out end-of-line cans. Didn't realise that. I didn't look at that earlier. I didn't turn it upside down, but so that's a bit weird. So this might well be a year-old can. Oh, well, never mind. So I'll pick up some more tomorrow. Because I'm allowed to say, apparently. I'll go for a few pints. Well, it won't be pints, but it'll be a few Czech pours tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I'll get some content out about it if I can. Unless I just... Normally, when I do this, I kind of do about 3 reviews and then just far too smashed to actually operate a mobile phone to do any other reviews. I do like doing live beer reviews. Was it given out as a train beer? No, it was... Well, I did actually get on a train for the first time in a long time last year, and haven't done since. So it could have been a train beer. I didn't drink it on a train. No, it was given out as a sample by Jarosovsky. He were at an event I was at last year, and I'm going to again tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to be cycling to the Czech Republic for the afternoon for a beer. As guests of the Czech Embassy in Notting Hill, London. I'm going to potter over there and enjoy a few Czech beers. It's like Czech Beer Day, but this year seems to be completely secret. It's not been advertised. But thanks to, as I say, Chris and the Czech Beer Fan Club, I've got a ticket. I'm on the list. So, yeah, because I don't really do trains still at the moment, certainly not in the afternoon. I shall be, once I've done a little bit of cleaning work up the brewery, I'm going to jump on the old line bike, cycle down the canal towards Maida Vale, jump off, turn right through North Kensington, end up at the Czech embassy in Notting Hill. Because I've got a golden ticket, and I'm very, very grateful to Czech Beer Fan Club for that. Sounds fun, lucky mate. Yes, I'm very lucky indeed. I appreciate. I am. That's what I didn't know I was allowed to say. I'm not into bragging. You know what I mean? There's no bragging rights here, but that's why I'm doing Czech beers today, especially one I got at the event last year and haven't got round to drinking. But it's a really, really good Czech beer. The creamy head really helps, actually. Yeah, so hopefully I'm going to be getting some content away. I did some last year, I believe. I got press ganged a little bit into doing a live on Instagram, so I might do it on YouTube tomorrow if I can get it sorted. As I say, I don't know even like the reason I didn't want to talk about it because I haven't seen any invites for it. When we first did it in 2019, they put out a kind of online invite, and I just RSVP'd and said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to come along." And they said, "Yeah, come along, it's fine." But I didn't get the nod this year, apart from Rob, Czech Beer Fan Club. Cheers, Rob and Danny. Thank you for the invite. Yeah, so it feels a little bit of an exclusive thing, so I didn't really want to say about it, but Chris earlier said I can say. So it's too late now, isn't it? I've said it. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm checking out these Czech style beers, 2 British ones and 1 from the Czech Republic. I believe you can still get these cans, or the next lot of cans from Chamberlain Madness, Jarosovsky are on there, along with some other decent Czech beers. And if I needed some Czech beers, that's where I'd be going for, Trembling Madness. Like I say, trying to get the beers out of the stash, so I don't need to order anymore. But I should be having a few tomorrow. And because I know how to say cheers in Czech, it'll be na zdraví. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. I couldn't do. See that there? Couldn't work out how to do the degrees sign on StreamYard. It kept chucking me out. So I managed to do it on Instagram earlier because I did it on my phone. But there you go. If anyone knows how to do the degrees sign on here, probably never ever going to use it. But yeah, 4.5% Pilsner. I should have capitalised that from Jarosovsky. Well, there we go. That's the hour. I should have planned this better. I should have done a lot more content on this. And I do apologise. So you've been out. Got home far too late. I changed the time from 8:30 to 9. So I could have a little bit of food. But yeah, that's my Czech beer lineup. That's me checking out Czech beers. And now I'm just going to simply check out. I was going to do that big reveal at the end and go, yeah, I'm cycling to the Czech Republic tomorrow afternoon as the end of the show. But instead, this is the end of the show. I've got to not drink too much because I'll probably have a few tomorrow. So early night tonight, get some work done tomorrow morning and in the afternoon. So yeah, cheers one and all. Thanks as ever for popping in. Hopefully I haven't done too much live streaming this week, so may or may not be a live stream tomorrow. And if there is, I'll be out and about and probably 3 sheets to the wind. So that's probably a good idea not to do a live stream. And then, yeah, back to work at the weekend, Friday and Saturday. And we'll catch you all soon. Thank you very much indeed for popping in. And if you're watching this back afterwards, thank you very much indeed for getting this far. Please comment, like, subscribe, and tell me about your Czech beer stories. Thank you very much indeed. One and all. Cheers and na zdraví. I'm in Disco, Rascal and Disco beer review. Have a good week.